Things are gonna get crazy!
Most everyone's mad here.
Welcome, everyone, to a very special and probably an unforgettable episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. How are you all doing, everyone? I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I hope you all had a wonderful week. You know, I had a very nice time. I actually had a very nice moment with my family, so it's all good, but I'm not gonna lie. There is a part of me that is a little bit nervous about doing this episode because let's just say with some of the topics, or at least with one of the topics, it will definitely put a target behind my back. However, I know that this is something that I must do. It needs to be talked about, and some people need to be called out in this situation, but regardless, we're gonna go ahead and do this anyways, and I know for a fact that this is going to be one episode that will be talked about at least for about a week, I'd say. And if you hear about people talking about me, if you hear people talking about AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast, well, you'll probably know why, but strap yourselves in, folks, because we are gonna go into one crazy episode. So, with that said, folks, I want to go and ask the chat wall here, are you ready for today's episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast? Are you prepared, folks? Are you ready for this? Because I don't know if I am, honestly. Okay, let's see. Yes. People are ready. People are prepared. Your enthusiasm, everyone, it's always admirable. That's always great to see. So without further ado, let's go ahead. Oh, well, hold on a sec. We actually got a subscriber. Thank you, Cinemageddon, for the subscription. Perfect. A nice way to go and start things off. So with that said, let's go ahead and get things started. And let's just get right into it, folks. Let's go and start with the big news. Now, this was something that has been going on for 3 whole years. 3 years of an absolutely insane culture war that has been going on around the internet. And even in specifically a little sector in the anime community. It has been going left and right. It has just been ongoing. The fire just kept on burning, and sometimes it can feel a little bit too much where the heat might be a bit too extreme. And sadly, there have been some people who did unfortunately get burned. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. In fact, we actually finally got out of the tunnel. It is over. It's finally done. After 3 whole years, we can finally say that there is a conclusion to all this. And what I am talking about, of course, is regarding the court case of Vic Mignogna. Yes, it is official. It is done. It is over. The gavel has been hit, and there is finally a conclusion. And just like any mentally functioning human being would know, Vic Mignogna lost. He pretty much lost the entire court case. Nothing went on his side. He is a loser in all this. Now, before I go into what happened, I would like to go and start things off by giving you a little bit of a refresher of what happened. Maybe you have heard about this story before, but I'm going to go and read from a Twitter thread. And this one specifically is going to be coming from commercial litigator Akiva Cohen. So at least it would help out that we do get from a lawyer's perspective, or at least from a law professional's perspective of what actually happened. So let me just go and read you here. Hey, litigation disaster tourists, it's time to look at the your text of litigation disaster tourism, the destination on appeal from the place where, in many ways, all of this started. And this is in regards to Vic Mignogna. So, first of all, for those of you who don't know the backstory, That's Vic Mignogna, a relatively famous anime voice actor with a long-whispered, unsavory reputation as a sex pest. And he had a very prolific filmography where he has provided many iconic voices and many popular voices in some of the biggest animes. Of course, he was Edward in Full Metal Alchemist. He was Broly in the Dragon Ball franchise. He was Uncle Crow in Ruby, and several others. Like, the list really does go on. But at the same time, he also has a bit of an open secret in the same ways that John Kricfalusi had that open secret where he was dating minors when he was in his late 30s and early 40s. And with Vic Mignogna, he had a very long history of very poor treatment in terms of how he would treat other staff members, and especially towards guests, like with female guests at conventions, with a long history of like sexual misconducts, groping, and a lot of other nasty behavior that eventually came to light later. So let's get back into the Twitter thread here. Way back in early 2019, those allegations exploded into public view at about the same time as the release of the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie in which he played the lead character. It apparently involved screaming a lot. Don't ask me, I'm not a Dragon Ball guy. Well, I mean, it's Dragon Ball, that comes with the package. Anyways, some anonymous Twitter users kicked things off. And then they got retweeted by two of Vic's co-stars, Monica Rial and Jamie Marchi, who each tweeted about their own experience with Vic. And then he included a gif of Oprah Winfrey saying, "Speaking your truth is the most powerful tool we all have." He then followed this up by saying, Vic's fans were, how shall we put this, not particularly pleased by this, and in a spectacular moment of self-ownership, decided to harass people criticizing Vic, and particularly Rial, Marchi, and some other folks with platforms like Mars Girl, aka Caitlin Saucedo. And she, if you want to know why Caitlin was a very prominent figure in this entire controversy, it's mainly because she actually kickstarted the hashtag of it. She was the one who coined the phrase #KickVic. And from there, because she is a woman, she ended up becoming a massive target by Vic Mignogna's fan base, really putting the blame on her that, oh, Vic Mignogna's life is ruined because of Mars Girl and all that kind of insane stuff. But anyways, I say self-ownership because by doing that, they kept the conversation about Vic not just ongoing, but red hot. Which, of course, is exactly what any PR professional would tell you want when you're in the news in a negative way. Oh, boy. I mean, it definitely did deserve that sound right there. Anyways, Rial's fiancé, Ron Toy, got very fighty about standing up for his partner on Twitter. Good for him, by the way, and ended up tweeting in her defense and about Vic several hundred times. And then following that, comics gators got involved. Anti-Me Too people adopted the case as a cultural touchstone, and crap got bad. A particular YouTube shouty man, Nick Rekieta, or technically Nick Rekieta, yeah, that's not how you spell his name. He's wrong. He's wrong. It should be spelled that way. Anyways, crowdfunded a litigation fund for Vic and encouraged him to sue Marchi, Rial, and Toy for defamation. Oh, and also his ex-employer Funimation, which had fired him after doing an investigation of some incidents that it heard about. Anyways, wise choice for this type of situation. Definitely good for you. Definitely good for your career prospects. Like, seriously, bruh. In Texas, which has an anti-slap statute. Well, don't we feel foolish? Not even starting the lawsuit, and already he built himself up to failure Especially thanks to the help of Nick Recchietta, but we will get to that very soon. Anywho, after it appears, having multiple lawyers say that the case was a loser, Nick recommended that Vic look up his family attorney, Ty Beard, a Texas lawyer with a trust and estate practice who had never touched a defamation case before his career. Oh, thank you for the subscription, DJ Lol5. And yeah, I mean, like, how many times am I gonna go and use these sound effects? I mean, seriously, just one after another is just failure after failure after failure. Anyways, what happened after that litigation disaster story on Disaster Rushmore with Kraken Suits and Inri Gondor, Beard opened by sending retractions demanding letters claiming, among other things, that calling Vic a piece of shit was defamatory because he was not literal feces. That's it. That's it. And and also that saying that light him on fire and send him to hell was false and defamatory because Jesus spread a message of love and wouldn't send anyone to hell, and all sorts of other just pure bangers. So really hired the wrong person for all this. Those letters somehow went viral in the legal community. We don't need to discuss who helped with that. Okay, I'm sure they feel bad enough as it is. And when I say viral, I mean viral. I literally heard reports from lawyers in Australia and Hong Kong about colleagues bringing it. Colleagues bringing it up to them as an amazing, did you hear about this one joke? Seriously, these letters were a worldwide laughingstock, and I mean that literally. So this is like a court case that was so bad that everyone in the law community is having a massive laugh. Like, it really is it's going to become literally a textbook example of what not to do in law, that Nick Recchietta and Ty Beard have now placed themselves in history as literally the worst lawyers in the entire world, or the entire history in general, thanks to this idiotic lawsuit. That resulted in Vic fans and comic gators brigading the lawyer, tweeting about it with, "No, you don't understand, you're cherry picking, there's a real case here," and pointing us to Nick's commentary about it. Since Greg Doucette, a very prominent and highly reputable lawyer, is fightier than even Ron, that launched the Thread Knot, Long May She Sail. And for those of you who don't know, the Thread Knot is basically an entire Twitter thread created by Craig Doucette that lasted for years, which chronicles literally everything about the constant harassment and the fails made by Vic Mignogna's fan base, and the sheer stupidity of Vic Mignogna during court, and every single proof that he has admitted to all the allegations that he has done. The Thread Knot alone itself is absolute proof that everything that has been said against Vic Mignogna is actually true. But wait, hold on, there is a bit more. Long story short, Vic got beat the F out of, and then open brackets, got beat the F out of. Texas anti-slap law conducted a masterful deposition where Vic reenacted some of the abuse from on camera, while Ty performed about what you would expect from a non-defamatory attorney if you also expected them to be lobotomized. Of the 17 claims against the 4 defendants, all 17 were tossed, and the judge awarded attorney fees to the defendants. Then Vic appealed, and we have been waiting for this decision for, well, it hasn't been a short wait. And that is true because the entire court case has been completely rejected on October of 2019, I believe. And from there, Vic would go and make an appeal, and everybody has pretty much been waiting for approximately 3 years. Not entirely 3 years, but like it was still a massively long wait in order to receive an answer that the majority of people, that almost everyone in the law community knew about what would ultimately be the outcome. And this thread would go so much more and really goes deep into what actually happened in terms of the appeal, and like even more proof of like all the cases and all the allegations against Vic Mignogna was actually true. And yes, as a result, it happened a few days ago in which Vic Mignogna ended up losing everything. The appeal was completely lost, and once again, the 17 cases were completely taken out. In fact, let me just go and read you a little bit here from my source on Kotaku, which did cover a little bit of this case, in which it states here, the Court of Appeals in the Second Appellant District of Texas found that Mignogna did not provide enough evidence to prove that some of the statements made against him were false or that any were made with malice. According to the court decision, Mignogna will not only be responsible for paying off fees related to his appeal, but will likely have to pay more attorney fees to fellow voice actors Monica Rial and her fiancé Ronald Toy. The court sent Mignogna's lawsuit back to the lower court to come up with a higher, more appropriate attorney's fees for him to pay, in part because the cost of Rial and Toy's legal representation exceeded the $125,000 the prior court decision had previously awarded the pair. So yeah, now Vic is going to end up paying more. In fact, if that's not enough, let me go and read you directly from what the court said themselves. Like, let me just go and directly read you here, which is apparently from the Court of Appeals, Second Appellant District of Texas at Fort Worth, number 02-19-00394-CV, in which the judgment states here by Justice Mike Wallach, it says, this court has considered the record on appeal in this case and holds that there was error in part of the trial's court judgment. It is ordered that the judgment of the trial court is affirmed in part and reversed in part. We affirm that the trial court's judgment, except for the attorney's fees amount awarded to cross-appellant Monica Rial and Ronald Toy. We remand this attorney's fee issue to the trial court for a redetermination. It is further ordered that appellant and appealee Victor Mignogna shall pay all costs of this appeal, for which let execution issue. And on top of that, we also got an extra concurring memorandum opinion from Chief Justice Bonnie Suderth, in which Bonnie states, I write separately only to retaliate what has already been said both in the majority opinion and in the concurring and dissenting opinion. First, I agree with the concurring and dissenting opinion that there is an ample room in this record to support the trial court's decision to award a lesser amount of attorney's fees than Rial and Toy sought. But I also agree with the majority opinion in holding that a one-size-fits-all approach of determining appropriate attorney's fees violates guiding rules and principles, and therefore that the trial court abuses its discretion in the matter of which it reduced the fees awarded to Rial and Toy. So keep in mind that beforehand, on October of 2019, when Vic Mignogna first lost the court case, he had to owe the defendants, Rial, Markey, Toy, and Funimation, he had to owe them just under $250,000. But now that he lost the court, now that he lost everything, and now that the whole court case is over, Vic Mignogna is now in debt of over $500,000. As I'm recording this, there is no confirmation as of yet of how much that Vic Mignogna truly does owe, but it is going to be somewhere right above $500,000 for all the fees that he has to pay, while Monica, Jamie, Ron, and Funimation don't have to pay a single cent. And I think, first of all, I might as well get this out of the way. Congratulations to the defendants. Congratulations to Funimation, which technically now is Crunchyroll. Congratulations to Monica Rial. Congratulations to Jamie Markey. And congratulations to Ron Toy for finally having this 3-year nightmare be finally over. You can finally put this aside and you can happily move forward with your lives and with your careers in voice acting and so much more. I couldn't be happier that you can finally end all this, that you could put this aside, and that finally you can have your lives back. But let's get into this court case right here. Where the fridge did this go wrong? Because honestly, this was something that even I knew. Like, even though I don't have like a law degree or anything like that, even I knew that there is no way that Vic Mignogna was going to win any of this. And honestly, looking back, I think it's safe to say that if we would have to point out two people specifically of who ruined Vic Mignogna's life, of who pretty much permanently damaged it to the point where his career is full on dead, where he is fully blacklisted from the entire entertainment industry. We have to call these two people out. And no, it's not Monica Rial, and it's not Jamie Marchi, and it's no one in the Kick Vic side. It is Nick Rekieta and Ty Beard. And I think it's safe to say that if you have to pin the blame on who's responsible for Vic Mignogna's failure, it has to be those two. Because when you look at the entire court case, it was just so poorly managed. It was an absolute disaster where, as it was pointed out, it was a massive laughingstock by the entire law community. It was just a complete failure where any mentally functioning human being would look at this and see where things just went totally wrong for Vic and all the wrong moves that the lawyer has done. Watching Ty Beard and Nick Rekieta at work, it really did feel like not like Better Call Saul, but it felt like an SNL sketch parodying Better Call Saul. Like, it really was that bad. And it's only one of two, and at this point, it really is just one of two options by this point. It really is just one of two things that might have actually happened. Because the reason why it went so terribly for them, it's either one, they really are that incompetent, that they are so bad at their jobs that they shouldn't even be allowed to actually have law degrees or anything like that, that there's no way that they could seriously work as lawyers moving forward from it, that like nobody should go and actually hire them. Nobody should go and enable their businesses. They really are that incompetent that Vic Mignogna already lost right at the moment when like he agreed to go and do this lawsuit. Or B, they were just acting it up because they knew it was going to be a disaster, and for them, this was nothing more but a scam to go and keep fueling the entire I Stand With Vic movement. It was just to give people the illusion that there may be a chance that Vic Mignogna might win. Like, they know that it was going bad. They just wanted to drag this on for as long as they possibly could until there is a final verdict, which finally did happen. And also, like, if there is one person, like, among those two, more like one over the other, it has to be Nick Rekieta. He is the one who is at fault. Or actually, I don't have to keep calling him Nick Rekieta because there is actually another name that Nick is actually very well known for in the law community, where people have actually called him the Blackface Lawyer. Yes, what you see here is a real picture of Nick Rekieta where one of his Halloween costumes, he decided to go and wear blackface. And man, he was proud of it. Very unapologetic, and one of those delusional people that thought that he believes that he did nothing wrong by wearing blackface over here, which is why every professional lawyer or any lawyer who is smarter than him, which is pretty much almost every single lawyer, calls him the Blackface Lawyer. Now, I don't know, maybe he has regretted that, maybe he did apologize, and if that's the case, I will take back my comments on him. Like, if he said that he's sorry and that he does acknowledge that racism is a crime, then I will take it back. But for now, it doesn't seem like that ever is the case, but it is true that he is known as the Blackface Lawyer, and it's because of this pretty little image right over here. And you know the funniest thing about all this? You know what's actually really hilarious? Because Nick Rekieta, he went on his podcast because he actually is much more known as like an alt-right podcaster than actually doing any form of lawyer work, because again, who the fridge would want to hire that guy as a lawyer? He actually went in his podcast and he unironically said, "I have nothing to do with it. I'm just a commenter. I have nothing to do with this court case or anything." He is legitimately distancing himself from the court case. He knew for a fact that it went so badly that he's trying to disconnect himself from anything. And I just gotta say, nah, you freaking drunk. Come back here. Like, I know that you're gonna run away with your booze and like drown yourself in alcohol to the point that you will have a reserved spot in your future at Alcoholics Anonymous, but you better get your ass back here. You're not getting away with it. It's all because of you. You're the reason why Vic Mignogna failed. Like, this entire court case is all because of you. Nick Rechietta is the mastermind behind all this. Don't believe in all the lies of the fact that he's just a commenter, that he has nothing to do with it. He is the one that persuaded Vic to go into this lawsuit. He is the one that raised a GoFundMe campaign, raising almost $300,000 to make this lawsuit happen. He is the one that tried to directly get himself involved with the court case. He actually did have a history of it. He was the one that recommended his family lawyer. He was the one that recommended to have Ty Beard to go with him. It's all because of this man, and everyone knows it. And honestly, I believe that Vic Mignogna fans, if they truly want to go and find justice for Vic, they need to switch their targets and they need to attack Nick Rechietta. He's the one that's responsible for making all this an absolute disaster. He's the one that built this up to be a complete failure. So these people who are trying to attack all those that oppose Vic Mignogna, they need, again, I believe that they got to switch targets. They need to first take down Nick Rechietta if they truly want to go and find justice for Vic. But then there's also another factor that I need to go and bring up, which is the GoFundMe campaign. The fact that he raised almost $300,000. That's right. Nearly $300,000 from Vic Mignogna's own fans in order to fuel up this entire court case. And one thing that I have not heard that Nick Rechietta has done is actually show any receipts about what's going to ultimately happen to that money. Where is that money going to go? Because keep in mind, this is not my money. This is not taxpayers' money. Whoops, excuse me. This is not taxpayers' money. This is not your money. This is actually the money of Vic Mignogna fans, the money of anti-woke people, of his fans, and of fans of Vic Mignogna and all those who say, I stand with Vic. What is happening with that money? Because right now, it's going in one of two directions, and it's not going to look good for Nick whatsoever. So it's either option A, where he actually is honest with the whole money situation. He's honest with the GoFundMe campaign, and all that money that Vic's fans have paid is ultimately going to go to Funimation, to Jamie Markey, to Monica Rial, and to Ron Toy, so that they could go and properly pay the legal fees, while the defendants don't have to pay a single cent whatsoever. So it really is help funded, it really is help funded by Vic Mignogna's own fans that would go directly to the defendants. And not to mention, that's still not all of it. Vic still has several hundreds of thousands of dollars that he would need to go and pay. And that's option A, and that is if Nick is truthful. But there is also another option, and there have been some rumors that have been speculating that the GoFundMe campaign was an absolute scam. That Nick Rechietta, along with the help of Ty Beard, excuse me, they took all that money and they kept it to themselves, which right now, Vic Mignogna has no choice but to pay over $500,000 out of his own pocket. And that is if he's not truthful. And I think one of the first things that Nick has to do right now, that he needs to address to his fans to make sure he doesn't get attacked by Vic's own fan base and that they don't turn on him, is that Nick Rechietta needs to go and immediately admit of where is that money going. Like, before anything, before even if the fans would want to come at me with whatever pro-Vic comments that they want to say, they first need to go and answer the question, where is all that money going? And where is the proof that the money shall be going to him? So may I ask, Mr. Rechietta, may I go and ask you, will you be so kind and actually show us the receipts of where all that GoFundMe money is going? Can you prove to us that that you're not a fraud, that you're not a con artist, that you're not stealing money from Vic's fans and from your own fans, and that you're not screwing over Vic with any of that money? Can you do that to me, Pumpkin? Can you prove to us that you're not a scam artist? You know, just to clear off those rumors. I just want to go and help you clear your name and make you show receipts about where that money is going. Okay, sweetheart? Because I just got to warn you right now, if you're not going to do it, I'm sure eventually the police might. You know, you never know. Maybe the authorities will come in right at your door and they will force out where that receipt is. They will be asking you where that where the nearly $300,000 went. So can you do that for me, Pumpkin? I mean, it's either you show it to us or the police will show it to us. Either way, you got no choice but to do so. I mean, the lawsuit that you created completely lost. And with that GoFundMe campaign, I believe Vic Mignogna fans have the right to know where their money is ultimately going to go. And there is also, with that said, there is also another thing that I do want to talk about in the matters of, no, not this one. In the matters of Vic Mignogna, there's also another thing that I need to go and mention. And the truth of the matter is that when it comes to Vic Mignogna, and I know I'm going to piss off so many incels when I say this, but there is no proof of his evidence. People try to say that he is innocent, that Vic did nothing wrong. You don't have the proof of it. They're all lies. They're nothing more but fabrications. The victims and all the people who have accused Vic actually did put in the effort to tell their stories, to show evidence, to present pictures, to actually present proof that Vic Mignogna really is the monster that they have portrayed him. But for the pro-Vic people, they have done nothing in terms of his defense. They have done nothing to show any form of his innocence. And I know by this point, some people may go and point out by all the alt-right YouTubers, the white nationalists and the groomers who want to go and say that they stand with Vic, and all the big YouTube celebrities that want to go and promote Vic Mignogna and stuff like that. I'm talking about people like Hero Hay, Yellow Flash, who else was there? The Umbrella Guy. There's also like even some of the more general type of anti-woke white nationalists, you know, like The Quartering, Geeks Plus Gamers, who else was there? Clownfish TV, and of course we can't forget the Blackface Lawyer, and all those other guys, you know. They had made literally hundreds of videos, and there was even a period where they did so on a daily basis, trying to tell their audience that Vic Mignogna was going to win this court case, that Monica Rial and Jamie Markey and all the feminists are monsters. Vic Mignogna is going to win. Vic Mignogna has all the proof. But that's the thing, though. He didn't win. He didn't provide any single proof of evidence whatsoever. And there's only one of two directions by this point that would go and explain all this. And again, it's not the fault of Kick Vic this time. It is either A, that again, it's Nick Recchietta and Ty Beard's fault, where they are so incompetent and so inept as lawyers that even if they did provide some legitimate evidence, even if they have legitimate proof, they don't know what to do with it. That it's all shambled up and they barely use any of it in court, to the point that it's just completely broken. Or it could be B, and that they are liars, that they're doing nothing but spreading misinformation, that they know that all the things that they're doing and trying to promote Vic Mignogna and demonizing literally anyone that goes out of their way to say that Vic Mignogna is a bad person, they know it's nothing but a scam. They know that they're just lying off of their asses and that they're just making things up just to grab attention, just so you can give them their money. That's all it is. These people are grifters. Vic Mignogna himself even knows very well that all those YouTubers that try to promote him, they're nothing more but grifters. They don't care about him. Even Vic knows very well that Nick Rekieta does not care about Vic. And right now, Vic Mignogna is pretty much in the exact same position as Nick Rekieta's wife, where Vic completely regrets ever meeting Nick in the first place, and he knows very well that his life would have been so much better if he never saw Nick Rekieta, like, ever. And that's the thing. Those people are just and that's the thing. They're just liars. And for me, I feel like option B in this matter is much more of a likely option because they have a terrible reputation. They are notorious for spreading misinformation that all they do is take whatever piece of information is out there, they twist it so badly just so they can go and promote their propaganda or just spread flat out lies so that they could go and spread their hate speech and spread targeted harassment. These are the kinds of people that should not be allowed to have any monetization on their YouTube channels. And yet they are unapologetic in being grifters, that they're just doing this for the attention and for the money, and that in truth, none of these people legitimately care about Vic Mignogna or the fans. They're flat out lying to you. And that's why the Vic Mignogna fans should go and ask them, why did they lie to you? They promised you guys that Vic Mignogna would win, and that it never happened whatsoever. Again, I believe that the Vic Mignogna fans should really change their targets, that whatever treatment that they're giving to the Kick Vic people right now, they need to go and switch that up, and they should go on the attack of Nick Rekieta, on Hero Hey, on the Umbrella Guy, on Yellow Flash, and all those channels aimed for white nationalists and incels, to go after those people. And I mean, the thing is that they've been attacking the Kick Vic people for so long, and yet nothing has ever been happened. At least you'll probably get some form of justice, that you'll go and attack and you will take down those channels like Rekieta or Umbrella Guy or Hero Hey or whatever. Like, you'll take down those channels and they won't be able to do damage like they have done to Vic Mignogna ever again. At least you'll go and have that. But the sad truth is that at this point, it's going to be hard to say. Like, even like with my recommendations that they should go after them, the sad truth is that even if this court case is entirely over, even though Vic Mignogna lost everything and that the Kick Vic people came out as complete winners and Monica Rial and Jamie Markey can go back to their regular lives with no trouble whatsoever, the sad truth about this entire matter is that, unfortunately, despite the fact that Vic Mignogna lost, that all the evidence is out there and now has been recorded in the Court of Appeals, like now has actually been recorded in law, in court and everything like that, fans still believe that Vic Mignogna, for some reason, is innocent. Like, they don't believe in what the law stated. They don't believe what the court said. They don't believe in literally any of the evidence. They still want to keep on going with this entire battle. They unironically believe that the battle is somehow not over yet and that Vic could still get back in court and go after Jamie Markey and Monica Rial and Ron Toy and Funimation. And there's suddenly going to be a magical moment where Vic Mignogna will end up as the winner. They can't explain how, but now they're pretty much arguing that no, Vic is going to win. And the worst thing is that now they're at the point where they're so desperate to get that victory, where they are legitimately arguing with law experts and even the court itself, that they're all just saying, oh, well, that's just their opinion. The court is just expressing their opinion. Like, yeah, you see this thing right here? That's just their opinion. It's nothing more than that. It doesn't matter what they say. It's nothing more than their opinion. Vic Mignogna is still innocent, you know? My guy, let me just go and tell you something. What the court says is going to be heard of. They will listen to that. And they will primarily use that as their source much more than anyone else. And the thing is that if you're really going to go out of your way to say that you don't believe in the court, but you believe in some alt-right incel grifter like Hero Hay and whatever delusional nonsense that he says in his videos, if you rather listen to that than what the court says, then you're not listening to the truth. You're just desperate to have things go your way, no matter what it takes, even like if it's unrelated to the law or anything like that. And this is exactly why the credibility of Vic Mignogna's fan base has been diminishing to the point where it's almost non-existent whatsoever. And why, on top of that, Vic Mignogna's fan base is the reason why that Vic Mignogna's career is flat out dead, that you will never hear him in another prominent anime or ever see him in the entertainment industry ever again. It's because they have a really bad and notorious and toxic reputation. Now, I'm just going to go and state this right now. Yes, I am aware that Kick Vic can have some troublesome behaviors, that the people who are against Vic Mignogna, that there have been times that they have some bad behavior where they do have a little bit of their own history of bullying and harassment. And I do condemn those actions as well, and that they are indeed in the wrong. I'm not supporting all the actions that Kick Vic has done over the years. But I can guarantee you that what Kick Vic has done that is bad, it is nothing compared to I Stand With Vic. That is possibly the most toxic and vile fan base that you could ever find in the anime community. Like, not only like a history of like bullying, of harassment, but even like some extreme stuff like commonly sending death threats, a long history of doxing, having a prominent sector in a literal white supremacist website, Kiwi Farm, and just such a long history of like terrible and toxic behavior. And for them, they're perfectly fine with it. These are the kinds of people that believe that if they're just doing it for their cause, if they believe in their intentions, that if they're okay with their own intentions, then anything is possible. Everything is literally fine. Like, they are that point of like insane mentality right over there. Like, all these people are so desperate to have things go their way that they are literally losing their minds. And it's sad because like even right now, like even Vic Mignogna is now going way too deep into it, and even he's trying to promote that, oh no, that nobody came out as a winner, everybody lost in this case, don't worry, Monica, Jamie, Ron, and Funimation, they didn't come out as winners, there's no winners here. It's like bull crap, man. The only loser in all this is you. Yes, the Kick Vic people, they won. They have been right about Vic Mignogna literally this whole time. And the sad and the thing is that it really is bad to where, like, even when they want to try to go and make some kind of crazy argument, like, they're at the point where it's like kind of hopeless to go and argue with Vic Mignogna fans. Like, you can't rationalize with them. For them, they are so desperate to try to go and win the argument. Even if you go and present all the evidence, they're not going to go and listen to it. They're desperately going to go and cherry pick even the smallest things to try to say that, oh, well, Vic Mignogna is innocent, which this is why they don't have, this is why their opinions do not matter. They don't deserve to have a voice. They deserve to be lost entirely. They deserve to have their social media like completely taken out, because they really are abusing the system, and they really are just like at the point where it's not healthy for them to keep on going, like arguing with people over things that, like, right at the start of the argument, they have lost. They have literally no evidence of Vic Mignogna's they have no evidence of Vic Mignogna's innocence, and it really has now become so bad to the point that it feels like, honestly, if they do unironically believe that Vic Mignogna is innocent, it's because they themselves are aspiring predators. That Vic Mignogna's fans wish that they could be like Vic Mignogna, where they could go around and do all these terrible things like sexual harassment, sexual assault, groping, and all these kinds of things and get away with it. And even worst case scenario, that some of them want to be aspiring groomers, that they want to do that kind of behavior towards minors, like 14-year-olds and stuff like that, which Vic Mignogna himself actually does have a history of like causing sexual harassment towards them and even groping 14 and 15-year-olds. In fact, there are even some people among Vic Mignogna's fan base that are unapologetically groomers themselves. And two people that I can call out that are notorious pedos are actually the Ministry of Otaku and Black Sage. These are two infamous trolls on the internet who would go around and all they do is just commit targeted harassment, and they would keep sending they would keep presenting bullying type of behavior, and at the same time they want to go and promote their love for lollies and stuff like that. And that really is the only reason why these people are so anti-woke. It's the only reason why they're really heavy onto the anti-woke movement is because they are desperate to be horny for minors without being called a criminal, a pedo, or anything like that. And I think the first thing, if the Vic Mignogna fan base want to go and clean their image, they should go and expel all the lolicons within their group. They do not belong there because they're just making the situation so much worse for them. And just going back to Vic Mignogna for a sec, the thing is with Vic right now is just, it's honestly ridiculous. And it really is going so bad because right now, Vic is just losing again and again and again and again. The thing is right now in Vic Mignogna's position, he's pretty much in every actor's nightmare. He is completely blacklisted from the entire entertainment community, and you will never see him in another highly prolific convention or in or any other notable anime project or anything ever again. So he's completely blacklisted from that. He's $500,000 in debt. And not to mention, I have been hearing rumors, I don't know if it's true, but apparently Vic Mignogna has to sell his house. He is so knee deep into this entire hatred and he is so desperate for this win and so knee deep in this I Stand With Vic movement in which he could legitimately end up becoming homeless and starving. That's going to be the future of Vic Mignogna, is that he's going to be a homeless man. In fact, that's ultimate. And honestly, looking at how all these anti-woke people that are so desperate for Vic Mignogna to win and presenting all this toxic behavior, that's going to be how they're going to conclude their life. That's going to be their future. They're going to end up homeless and starving because of their erratically toxic behavior online. It's going to legitimately ruin their lives right now. And even with Vic, the fact that he is so knee deep, the fact that he has truly been consumed by this entire incel culture, that he really has become so unchristian. And that's one thing that really is important to go and note. And that's because of the fact that he goes around and promotes that he is a devoted Christian, that he has this strong love for Jesus Christ and stuff like that. But every single act that he is committing really is a serious sin. Of course, with all the allegations against him, it is, of course, the sin, he is corrupted by the sin of lust. And even if people don't believe in that sin of lust, he also is presenting proudly the sin of pride, where he refuses to apologize, where he refuses to actually act his age and do the right thing and admit that all these things were true, that he admits that he apologizes for it, go to rehab for a few years and then come back to be completely reformed, where he is much more respectable to women, that he supports the hashtag Me Too movement and all that kind of stuff. So at least they're pride is preventing him to actually do the right thing. And then there is the sin of wrath, where he is just so angry at literally everyone who goes after, who pretty much is against him. He wants to present, he wants wrath against Monica Rial and Jamie Markey. He really has become such an angry individual and such an unchristian individual. And that's the reality of this. The I Stand With Vic movement is such an unchristian movement. No real Christian would want to go and support Vic Mignogna. In fact, and this entire thing, with this whole lawsuit and stuff like that, it really is nothing but just that. It really is nothing but to fuel a culture war. In fact, let me go and share you something that a friend of mine, I'm not going to name specifically who, but they put out a comment about this situation, and they really did described it perfectly. I just want to go and share it with you right over here. that basically the reason why that this I Stand With Vic movement, that it's still going even to this day, it's because of this. Number one, Vic's fan base, which was already notorious for being rather rabid, so once word of the accusation started spreading, they were quick on the defense. Number two, you got 4chan trolls who always love to stir things up when things like this happen. Number three, you got grifters who see this as an opportunity to make some easy clickbait money from the controversy, and so do all they can to keep things going. So basically, the grifters who don't care about Vic Mignogna, like Hero Hey, Yellow Flash, Umbrella Guy, and Nick Recchietta. And number four, extreme social/political a-holes who want to make this part of an alt-right versus SJW war. That's why this hasn't let up, even though it honestly should have died the moment Vic put out that apology prior to the lawsuit. And that's kind of the sad thing. Vic actually did apologize and admitted that these things were true right at the beginning, but this thing has just been going on for so long that it makes it easy to forget. It's always wise to step back and see the bigger picture. I had to do the same when I got too stressed about it, and it's done me a world of good since I can now focus on helping the others for getting too worked up themselves. And that's really that's the reality of this entire situation. That's, it's nothing but a massive culture war, because for these people, it's not about who wins or lose. It's not about trying to find the truth. It's about taking down one side. For those anti-woke people, it really is this massive battle of, it really is just this massive battle of the anti-woke people versus the SJWs. And anti-woke people are just so desperate to take down SJWs, regardless if what they're saying is the truth or anything like that. They just want to go and silence victims of sexual harassment, of sexual assault. Even though the fact is, Vic Mignogna is the greatest example of why we need something like the #MeToo movement, so that people like Vic could never work in the entertainment industry or never have a job again, that he gets the punishment that he does deserve. And there is honestly one more thing that I want to state, and this is directly towards the Vic Mignogna fans that probably are just so pissed off at me over everything that I've pretty much said here. And honestly, if there is one thing that you should take from this, one piece of advice that I need to tell you right now is just, you gotta stop. Honestly, this whole fight for Vic Mignogna, this whole fight against woke culture and SJWs, you need to end this. Trust me. The road that you're going now, it's a real bad one, and you really gotta stop. There is no future right now where things are looking good. And I know some people might say oh, well, Vic Mignogna, he's doing fine, he's doing good. He has this entire, Vic has this anime, he has this dubbing studio that's going to be coming soon with the help of the Anime Matsuri people. He's going to destroy Crunchyroll with it, which is never going to happen. It's not going to be true. It's not even going to last that long. I would be surprised if it would still be open by next year, or even by the end of this year. It's nothing more but a fake promise, a fake illusion that Vic Mignogna's career is still alive, that he's uncanceled. But in truth, his career is dead. And there's no chance for him to go and actually sue others. He can't keep this lawsuit going. It's dead. It's gone. The thing is, with these defamatory style lawsuits, they can only be valid to up to a year. This entire thing has expired back in 2020. Even if Vic Mignogna could actually go out of his way to go and actually sue me, he can't do anything. I can actually go and point to this lawsuit and I end up winning everything because the court is going to listen to me. He's not going to listen to the freaking incels like Umbrella Guy or freaking Yellow Flash or whatever dumbass white nationalist incel that you listen to. They're going to listen to what the court says first, and only them. And that's the sad reality. Vic Mignogna is going to go and keep on trying to promote that it's not over, but in truth, it is over, because right now Vic is desperate to try to go and pay his debt, and now he's at the brink of trying to make sure that he can keep a roof over his head and that he can at least have food on the table. That really is it. And the fact that he's still committing these unchristian acts like pride and wrath, like, I wonder if Vic Mignogna has ever considered, like, if he is a true Christian as much as he claims to be, I am just wondering if Vic ever thinks back and actually says to himself, hey, you know, maybe there might be some, maybe like God doesn't like me. Maybe God is actually punishing me for this. Maybe God is saying kick Vic and doesn't like the actions that I'm committing. If he can't see that, like, if he's not asking himself those questions, then he's not a real Christian. And at the point, and honestly, the thing is with Vic Mignogna fans, they're going to be at the point where they'll probably keep on defending him and defending him and defending him to the point that whatever crimes that Vic may commit, if like things are going to be worse for him and things are going to be worse for his fans. And whatever they want to try to do against people like me or anyone on the internet, or like right now they're currently harassing and they're targeting Stephanie Chen. Like, no matter what they do to them, they're not going to do anything. Because the sad truth is, they've been doing it for the past 3 years, and they failed to silence any voice and to take anyone down. Because Monica Rial and Jamie Marchi, they still have their voiceover careers. In fact, Monica Rial right now is currently she currently has her voice in what is currently #1 at the domestic box office of this week. Like, she's doing perfectly fine. She is doing very well. And then, and the thing is, people like me, people like Mars Girl, and every vocal people against Vic Mignogna, they still have their platforms. No damage has been harmed to them, despite the fact of all the desperate attempts by Vic Mignogna's fans. That's why I highly recommend that if you truly want justice for Vic, you should switch your targets and you should go attack Nick Rekieta, attack Umbrella Guy, attack Hero Hey, attack Yellow Flash, attack those people who have lied to you, who said that Vic Mignogna was going to win, but it never happened, and set Vic Mignogna up for failure, where now he can never work in the industry ever again for the rest of his life. And that's why I want to go and help you to go and get out of that, to stop being angry. Do you want to be like this for the rest of your life? Do you want to keep continuously being angry? Do you want to keep getting like false hopes that the Kick Vic people and the SJWs and the liberals are right about everything, about the things that you're hoping that you might get right on? Like, do you want to live the rest of your life being miserable and angry about being wrong all the single time, and like going out of your way to go and attack people and to lash out at them, and even risking losing all your social media accounts, and even going to dangerous extreme lengths where it would put you into prison? Like, do you want to go and risk that? That's why, honestly, I'm gonna give you an out. To just learn to forgive everyone in Kick Vic, to forgive people like Monica Rial, like Jamie Marchi, like Mars Girl, like me, to go and forgive and just move on, to quit this entire anti-woke act, because there's no good future for people who are so desperately anti-woke. Because you see what's been happening with Vic. Vic Mignogna is a great example of what happens to people who are so indulged to anti-woke culture. They end up losing everything. They lose their platforms, they lose their homes, they lose their money, they will lose everything. So that's why I'm giving you an out before it is too late, to stop ranting about anti-woke people, because I can tell you right now, those people want to play the gatekeeping game. I could play that too. Real anime fans, they don't support Vic Mignogna. Real anime fans do not complain about woke culture. Real anime fans support the victims of Vic Mignogna, like Monica Rial and Jamie Marchi. Real anime fans would go and embrace diversity and would love to see the new directions of anime and hearing new voices from Black animators, from other different ethnicities of animators, and LGBTQ plus animators and trans animators. They're perfectly fine with whatever representation is shown in anime and Japanese media or whatever. If you want to be a real anime fan, you gotta stop and silence your complaints about woke culture and just accept it as a part of life. And that's the truth about this entire situation. You need to find forgiveness and you need to move on from the hatred. In fact, to go and conclude all this, I'm going to go and read you here from the Bible. This is actually a real Bible quote. And it pretty much expresses so much. This is what real Christians follow. Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. And that is a quote from Luke 6:37. So that is pretty much my entire story right over here with the whole Vic Mignogna situation. Now, I know that it is so much. I know that I know there's a lot to sink in, and we've literally been going on for about an hour. But now it is time that I want to go and pass the mic on to you folks. What do you all think about the whole situation? What do you think about the whole case with Vic Mignogna? Please let me know your entire thoughts. Okay. I'll mostly keep this to the court case, since I'm just glad the whole ordeal is over. But who thought hiring that guy would be a good idea? I mean, I'm thoroughly convinced that a brick would have been a better lawyer. That's how bad he is. But it's safe to say that the sad truth of all this is, comment not reporting. Please try again later. Bruh, don't do me like that. Nah, but in all seriousness, I think really Nick Recchietta was just fueling up a culture war. I think honestly, Nick knew that Vic Mignogna is a predator. Nick knew that Vic was he believes that all the things that have been said about him is true, but wants to go and really enable it and decides to go and make this entire culture war. Again, this is exactly why there should be an investigation of what is happening with that nearly $300,000. Is it all is Nick Recchietta keeping it all to himself, or is he a man of his word? Is he a legitimate man of his word and giving it to Monica Rial, to Jamie Marchi, to Ron Toy, and to Funimation? Let's see. I think that they should recast him for all the work he did in the past anime, like Full Metal Alchemist, since monsters like him shouldn't receive benefits from their work, and also those alt-right YouTubers should be banned and removed from the platform altogether, so that YouTube can be a better place from all that anti-woke crap. Yeah, I can pretty much say right now that that job, at least the first part with recasting, that's already been done. All of Vic Mignogna's current roles, they have all been completely recasted. People characters such as Broly, such as Edward, such as Uncle Crow, they've all been recasted with new and much better actors, and actors who don't complain about woke culture, actors who do support women and victims such as Monica Rial and Jamie Marchi, and actors who are way better than Vic Mignogna, because who knew that actors that are considered woke are objectively better than actors who are conservatives and Christians? All right, let's see what else we got here. I was never a Vic Mignogna fanboy, but yeah, the dude is a massive creep. I'm really glad that Mignogna lost the lawsuit, and hope that not just Recchietta and Beard, but also incels like Clownfish TV, Yellow Flash, Geeks and Gamers, etc. suffered the same fate as Vic. Also, fun fact, on top of Edward and Broly, he was also the voice of E123 Omega in Sonic the Hedgehog, starting from Sonic Colors DS in 2010 to his final credit in Sonic Forces in 2017. By the way, did you watch the final episode of BCS? I'm not familiar with what BCS is, so I don't think I can really answer. Let's see. Vic Mignogna was a victim of his own unhinged stupidity. I've never seen anyone work this hard to destroy their reputation, not even Warner Brothers Discovery. Oh, we're going to get to that later. Mignogna needs to get out of the business and seek some serious help if he ever wants to recover whatever irreparable damage he has to himself and his cultists, followers. Needs to grow the F up and learn that their heroes is nothing more than a sex-obsessed fraud. And yeah, Vic Mignogna should. And like, honestly, there is a part of me that does hope that one day Vic will learn the errors of his ways and that he will distance himself from all the toxicity that the alt-right YouTubers has caused from his own fan base, that he could go and like get some therapy to like actually become a better person. But the sad truth is, considering that Vic Mignogna is a prominent Trump supporter, and like any Trump supporter like Vic, he's a coward. He's too scared to apologize. He's too scared to do the right thing. And now, as I said before, God is punishing him for his pride and his wrath, and now he's pretty much losing everything. So I hope there could be that kind of day where he will learn the errors of his ways and he will admit that everything that was said about him is true and that he will reverse his ways. But at this point, it's hard to really imagine. Let's see. Well, that was a first huge story there, Matt. I honestly don't know any pop star or cinema VIP who has such much judicial troubles that had their careers completely ruined. Oh, wait, there is Harvey Weinstein, Jared Fogle, Kevin Spacey. The fact that you're in the upper echelons of society doesn't mean that you're above the laws in the world. Let that sink in, you hippo elites. That's a new one, I gotta admit, hippo elites. Let's see, what else do we have here? Vic Mignogna has finally been taken down, right? Good, because he needs to face serious consequences for what he did to so many women throughout his career, so I'm glad he was taken down. Since that's over, we should now focus on other big problems in America to see if the orange fat guy goes down and gets to prison. One step at a time, people. I mean, yeah, we got like one creep that's finally taken down and is finally gone for good. The next step is going to be a much bigger obstacle. I'll tell you that right now. Oh, let's see. Okay, yeah. I'll go with this one. We'll have one more comment before we move on to the next story because I know that this has been going on for a while. Let's see. This is such fantastic news today, people. Miracles do happen. I'm glad Dick Mignogna is getting what he deserves for being a prick and a disgusting human being. Even before the allegations happened, I was never a fan of Penis Mignogna in general, especially during my Dragon Ball phase in my childhood. One of the worst things that ever happened to this mess is his disgusting fans attacking me, you, and Mars Girl. But I am so proud that Monica and everyone fighting against this a-hole. Yeah, by the way, I wouldn't be surprised if this week that the attacks are going to grow against me because, like, when this is going to air on YouTube, when this is going to be put out, don't be surprised if I suddenly become a target, and don't be surprised if I suddenly become a popular subject in Kiwi Farm. So if anything does happen to me, you'll probably know why. Okay, folks, I know it's been such a big one, but now it is time that we shall move on to our next story, and we're going to go and immediately lighten up the mood. I know it was a very heavy subject that we really went into, but now let's go and talk about something fun. Talk about, something that we could be excited about. And with our next one, I think it will be just the ticket. So with that said, let's go ahead into our next one, in which we are going to be looking into the trailer of the upcoming Netflix series, Wednesday Addams.
Miss Addams, you've certainly had a very interesting educational journey. 8 schools in 5 years.
Hey, freak. This is a closed practice.
The only person who gets to torture my brother is me. I did the world a favor. People like Dalton shouldn't be allowed to procreate. Getting expelled was just a bonus.
You will love Nevermore. It's a magical place where I met your mother. The son I love.
Finally, you will be among peers who understand you. Maybe you'll even make some friends.
Want to take a stab at being social? I do like stabbing. Little did I know I'd be stepping into a nightmare. Full of mystery, mayhem, and murder. I think I'm going to love it here.
And that is Wednesday Addams, to which the series is going to be coming out this fall on Netflix. Now, one thing that I need to immediately go and state over here, one thing that I gotta say when it comes to from what we've seen in the trailer, is that already I liked what we see here much more than I did the entirety of both animated Adam Sandler, both the entirety of the animated Addams Family movies. You know, honestly, you guys probably know, you've seen my reviews. I did not like them whatsoever. I believe those animated Addams Family movies, they are exactly what people think Illumination movies are. They're completely bland. They're unenjoyable. They're way too safe. They're way too boring, and they just suck all around. And not to mention the animation, like with their weird stick figures, they're just absolutely weird. So that is why, honestly, watching this Wednesday Addams trailer, it was like a breath of fresh air, and it really does feel like it's giving us an interesting new twist to the Addams family. And what's also very interesting to note, this is also like a pretty important piece, is that keep in mind that this series is actually going to be brought to us by none other than Tim Burton. Yes, Tim Burton is actually going to be the director of this show. And I know that lately Tim Burton has not really been a great director. You know, his filmmaking skills have they've kind of rusted over the years. Like, yes, he was a highly admirable auteur back in like the 1990s and the early 2000s and stuff, but like with some of his recent works, they haven't been all that great, to be honest, especially like with 2019's Dumbo. It just feels like Tim Burton has kind of like lost a bit of his magic. But then you look back and you see this, like with what he's doing, like with his take on the Addams family. Like, honestly, it feels like, okay, we're kind of going back in a direction where, like, this really feels like, okay, we're going in like what we love about Tim Burton in the first place. And honestly, like the combination of Tim Burton and Addams Family, it really feels like this massive match made in heaven. It's actually something that really did, well, it looks like something that's very promising, that it could really work out here. And also, speaking of this image right over here, this is something that also, wait, I just want to know, like, just based on my camera, like, just want to know with my camera. Okay, yeah, like this right here is also something that I want to talk about, because that's also another very prominent thing that a lot of people have been discussing about. Even though the fact that this is Wednesday series, a lot of people have been talking about pop culture's favorite couple, Morticia and Gomez Addams. And this is definitely a different take on it. And especially a lot of people have pointed out regarding Luis Guzman, there's no D at the end, with Luis playing as Gomez Addams. Because let's be honest, this is definitely a much different take than all the other Gomez Addams that we've had in the past. This is definitely a different one, and kind of an unusual one per se. I mean, yeah, there are those anti-woke people that are complaining about it and say that it's bad casting, but then again, we all know how racist anti-woke people are, and they want to lynch pretty much anybody who isn't a straight white male. So their opinion really does not matter. They don't deserve to have any form of freedom of speech, because all they say is just hate speech. But going back into this, it is an interesting take. But then again, you have to go and think about the original Gomez Addams. And when I say the original, not from the series or anything like that, I mean specifically the drawing of Gomez Addams. Like right over here. Like, okay, hold on. Let me see if I can. Yeah. Take a look at this and go back here. Like, if we make this comparison, I think Luis Guzman might be visually the best Gomez Addams. This is the closest that we got to bringing this drawing to life. It's like, yeah, we do see a match. And I mean, like, yeah, maybe Luis Guzman has a bit of a pug-like face, but so does Gomez Addams. Like, you see the comparison. Like, you see how identical that they are. Much more than, again, most other Gomez Addams out there. So honestly, like, the casting on here, spot on. I think, like, they really nailed it. And not just Luis Guzman. I believe that's like, you got Catherine Zeta-Jones here playing as Morticia. I do believe it's Catherine Zeta-Jones. Yeah, like, already, like, absolutely gorgeous. So you can imagine, like, and she actually looks like a wonderful Morticia. So honestly, like, yeah, I think this couple here, they really did nail it. But especially the acting from Wednesday, from Jenna Ortega. She actually did fantastic in here. And not to mention, like, even with her delivery, especially, like, probably my highlight is with the piranhas. Like, you see, like, when she would drop the piranhas in the swimming pool, and then, like, you see right at the end, like, even in such an evil glee, she, like, this is one thing I gotta say is so shocking. Like, holy crap, there's blood, you know, like, oh my god, like, we're going in that direction now. Okay then, wow, that is honestly surprising. Like, this for me is honestly the funniest scene that we got so far. But again, we also see a great example of Jenna Ortega's performance. It's just, you know, it's great from what we are seeing in the trailer. And not to mention, like, so, you know, it, like, especially with Tim Burton, especially how he is so well known for his art direction. Like, when you see Nevermore Academy going into this, like, you know, this how could I put this? Like, this gothic high school, and you see, like, the Art Deco, well, not the Art Deco, but, like, this gothic style that's going on, that you could tell that it is pretty Burton-esque. I think they really nailed the look of all this, and it kind of puts in that Tim Burton signature. So honestly, overall, I'm surprised to say this, but there may be a slight chance we could see a bit of a Tim Burton comeback, where for the first time in a while, you know, we might actually see some excitement and some hype over a new Tim Burton project. I mean, not a Tim Burton movie, but honestly, this has the recipe to actually have a legitimate and successful Addams Family reboot. Like, the kind that is actually worth watching, that is actually fun, that makes us excited to see the Addams Family. It will do something in which the animated movies have completely failed on. So honestly, this has me curious. And I mean, maybe there might be that slight chance it could be a failure, but I gotta say, this trailer that we got, it is so promising. It is definite, you know, it's definitely getting me excited. So if you are all curious to see how things are gonna go with Wednesday Addams, then keep in mind that it is going to be coming out this fall. I don't know when specifically, but maybe around the Halloween time. It would actually be pretty perfect if you think about it. Okay, so with that said, I would like to go into the chat wall, and I want to ask you all, what do you all think about the Wednesday Addams trailer? Are you guys excited to go and check it out? Are you guys a little bit iffy? Let me know what you all think. Okay, and one more thing, actually, I want to see if there's something that I can do. I don't know. Eventually, I know that this is something that I can eventually do in the future, but I would like to know, like, how I can do polls on Twitch. You know, I would love to know, like, it would be great. Like, after, like, I talk about a trailer, I question you guys if you're going to go and watch this or not. That would be cool. Eventually, I'll have to learn how to do that, but that's going to be an idea that I want to do. All right. Anyways, let's get back into the into the comments here from the chat wall. Let's see. I've always felt that Tim Burton and the Addams Family just go hand in hand, and this proves why. Jenna Ortega is doing a pretty good job as Wednesday, and I love the how freaking brutal the trailer gets. So I'll likely sooner revisit this than the recent animated Addams films. Also, Adam Sandler. Oh yeah, you mean Hotel Transylvania? Ah well, I just hope Fester in this series is less annoying than Transformania Johnny and 2019 Fester, or just Johnny in general, not just in Transformania. He's always been an absolute cringy prick. Oh boy, yeah. And I mean, like, I guess Uncle Fester is not too bad. I mean, they're like, honestly, I would say that probably Uncle Fester is like the least, well, not least, but one of your least worries when it comes to so many other like cringy problematic factors about those animated movies. Let's see. This trailer looks really promising. Tim Burton and Addams Family seems like an awesome combination. I love how it looks like it could feel unique compared to other Addams Family projects. The acting is solid, the visuals are great, so overall I might give this a watch. All right. I wouldn't call myself an Addams Family fan, but I do remember that my mom used to watch the movies on TV. However, I don't know if she would watch this. For me, my personal problem with this trailer is that it kind of feels weird and a bit mean-spirited, but then again, that's probably the theme of both Burton and Addams, but wouldn't call this a must-watch show. By the way, I asked you these before, but what are your thoughts on the final episodes of Better Call Saul? I have not watched that. I have not watched it yet. I'll get back to you on that when I have. Let's see now. And also, like, just to comment on the mean-spirited factor, I feel like it kind of works into this because, yeah, like you gotta consider that this is a Wednesday series. This isn't just an Addams Family reboot. This is one that specifically focuses on Wednesday. And as we all know, Wednesday, pardon my language, Wednesday is a sadistic bitch. She is sadistic as F. Like, seriously, she is absolutely insane. She has no empathy towards the people that she would go and torture. She has empathy, but not towards anyone that she opposes. You know what I'm saying? So I think, honestly, there might be some mean-spiritedness, but then again, it's just Wednesday being Wednesday. Let's see. I think the trailer looks good so far. However, I did not expect that this will be a Wednesday-focused series with gory aspects, so that was a surprise. I think the cast looks good too, particularly with Jenna Ortega as Wednesday. She has been on a roll lately with horror flicks such as X and Scream 5. If this is a comeback that Tim Burton needed, then it should be great for him. So I hope it's better than the animated films. Although, let's be honest, I mean, that is a standard that I think it's easy to go and exceed, you know what I'm saying? All right, what other comments do we have? Fun fact, Tim Burton was originally going to be directing the original live-action Addams Family movie, but that's when Barry Sonnenfeld, that went to Barry Sonnenfeld. And for this, I gotta say that this is a perfect fit for Tim Burton to direct. I bet this is gonna be MA rated due to the scene where the dude gets eaten by piranhas. Well, he's not eaten by piranhas entirely, it's just his dick and balls. Don't worry about that. He cannot reproduce anymore. I'm actually pretty surprised that this trailer will get me a watch. Luis Guzman looks like a perfect Gomez, and the style of it looks Tim Burton-y. I hope this does better than the animated movies. Okay, let's see here. I'll read one more comment before we move on to our next story. I wasn't expecting much from this trailer at first, but then, holy crap, there's blood! After that, all that was shown was just pure gold. The action, the visuals, the actors, and even the music. Tim Burton and Addams Family feels like a match made in heaven. I'm not too familiar with the Addams Family, but I'll certainly check this out, and I hope that this will bring Tim Burton's filmmaking magic. Also, I demand that this series will be released on a Wednesday. I pretty much have to. I mean, if you're gonna go and do that, I might as well go and activate that button. But yes, it looks like there's a lot of optimism for the Wednesday Addams series, which is actually great to see. I want to see, I want to see Tim Burton get back to like how he is like when he was like so beloved as an auteur. I want to see that. I really do want to see this succeed. So if you guys are interested in checking out Wednesday Addams, then keep in mind that the series will be coming out this fall. Okay, folks. Time to go and move on to our next story, which we got another trailer. And with this one, oh, do I have something special? I have something very, very special. It's another surprise, just like I did last time with House of Hammer. Now, even though technically this would count as a live action movie, it's the animation in particular that really makes this special. It really does make this stand out. And when I tell you the title, oh, you know what you're getting yourself into. If not, I cannot wait to see your reaction. So without further ado, let's check out the trailer for Birdemic 3 Sea Eagle.
At present, the human race is facing an existential crisis. The climate is changing fast and can lead to extinction. It is the greatest threat to life on Earth. Climate change. What we do now and the next 10 years will significantly affect the future of life on Earth. Now, in a span of 100 years, indeed in the space of one human lifetime, extinction of life on Earth is a reality. It is the extinction of life on Earth if we don't take action now. We need a plan.
Hello.
Hello.
A climate scientist from San Francisco has given a dire warning about climate change. He predicts the human race is headed toward a mass extinction.
I knew this was coming. Last year there was a Santa Cruz lightning complex wildfires that nearly burned everything around here. And this year, it's the sea eagles attack. We're headed towards abrupt extinction.
You're a scientist trying to save marine life, and I'm a scientist trying to discover how to extend the human life expectancy. Very nice.
We have to do something about this damn global warming.
Yeah. What kind of bird is it?
It's a sea eagle.
I always knew that the birds are coming back to attack us again. So maybe they want to exterminate us before they are extinct. Global warming has driven them to extinction.
Like this, my love?
Absolutely. Is there anything we can do to fix it?
No. The birds are back to attack us.
Nothing new.
We better fix global warming, else the human race will end up like this whale skeleton.
Okay. And that no, get back here. Whoa. No, I don't want to go to I Am Groot. And that, folks, was Birdemic 3 Sea Eagle, which is coming soon this year. We don't know when, but it is coming out. So yes, folks, this is actually the third installment of the cult classic Birdemic. And what you see is exactly like how it is. Like, if you guys don't know, Birdemic is one of those notoriously so bad it's good movies. It's the kind of film that's supposed to be like this horror, this like thriller / horror. It's supposed to, like, imagine if you take Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, except you pretty much except you take away the entire budget. Like, you take away so much of the budget that it's even lower budgeted than my videos. That's basically what you get with Birdemic, the Birdemic movies. And what you get, it's exactly like how it is. It's pretty much like you see here. Like like whenever there's a scene like with birds and stuff like that, like whenever you would get a shot in which you do see birds attacking, they're always like really low resolution. They're always like terribly animated. Hold on, I'll go like one at a time. Yeah, like they're so stupidly out of place. The acting is so bad. Like, it's one of those so bad that you can't help but laugh at the entire crazy situations. And especially with the way like they're trying to present themselves as like so serious, as like so preachy that we need to save the environment. The birds are attacking us because we humans are destroying the environment. And I get it. And I mean, like, I understand about climate change and protecting the environment. It is a serious issue, but it's just the way that they're portraying it right over here. I mean, it's next to impossible to go and take this seriously. In fact, actually, I just thought of this. The best way to go and describe this is that imagine if you mix The Birds with Sharknado and you give it a fifth of the budget of those two movies. That's pretty much what you would get with Birdemic. And now they're coming back with Birdemic 3 Sea Eagle, and it looks like they're coming back to do the exact same thing. Like, they're giving us I think it's one of those where they are very self-aware of what it's trying to do. They know that it's dumb, they know that it's stupid, and they want to deliver what people love about the Birdemic movies. Yeah, there is no improvement over the computer animation, over the birds whatsoever, but that's kind of the point. You want to see these like stupid CG birds just go crazy, and I gotta say, like, it was just hilarious to see one of them, like, at some point, well, where was that shot? I remember, like, they would go in and then suddenly, like, they would just fall down, like, one, oh yeah, that's your first look on them, and then suddenly they would just fall in the sky and then suddenly explode. Like, that shot, I gotta say, was hilarious. Oh my god, where was it? I forgot where it is, but oh my god, it was just too good. Like, I think it went by quickly, but either way, you guys do get what I mean. It was just a moment that, this one, yes! So just, a bird falls down and literally blows up, and even the explosion is so out of place, and like, notice, none of the environment was affected. Nothing, it's like, there's nothing that is touched upon. The trees are not moving from the impact. The lighting does not reflect upon the explosion whatsoever. Like just this kind of thing. Like, this is something that is low quality even compared to my videos. And not to mention the acting. Oh my god. You know, I guess asking for emotions might be a little too much. I don't know, maybe that the old man is taking so much out of people's emotions. Like, he's carrying everyone's emotions in one shot every time they talk to him, like with this guy.
Last year there was a Santa Cruz lightning complex wildfires that nearly burned everything around here.
Like, we need to go and save the environment. There's nothing that you can go and do. Oh my god, this guy is an absolute hoot. Well, what can I say?
We're headed towards abrupt extinction.
You're a scientist.
You need to go and do something about it. The animals are about to be extinct. The world as we know it is going to be destroyed because of climate change. And then there's my favorite part with this one guy. It's like, it was near the end. I think it's like just before the title or something. Or no, it's right over here.
Is there anything we can do to fix it?
No.
I don't know why. I just find this to be funny. It's like, can we fix this? No. No. It's like, no. We're pretty much screwed either way. And then you got the other actors, like, okay, the lead that's supposed to be the hot guy and the hot chick. Oh my god, like I've never seen like such an emotionless romantic scene with this thing right over here.
Absolutely.
No, wait, hold on, back this up.
Like this, my love?
Absolutely.
And then they make out. Like, wow! You know, it's like that one movie, I forgot what it is, but I remember seeing it from a Nostalgia Critic review like years ago. It's like, I think it's like Lost in Space or like Lost in Space or something like that. It's like, you know, the one where he's like, I love you, wife, and then goes in for the kiss. It's pretty much much like that. That's what it reminds me of. It's such emotionless. It's like, yo, do you like seeing my bikini? Absolutely. I think honestly, like this guy, like I don't know if this guy has like an acting career or anything like that. I don't want to diss him or I don't want to insult him, but I would not be surprised if this is his payment. It's like, I don't know. I'm not an actor. I don't know. You're going to make out with this girl. So let's go and do this. Woo-hoo! I wouldn't be surprised. It's like, this is the scene why he is here in the first place. But I gotta say though, honestly, when you look at it in the perspective of a so bad it's good movie, this is going to deliver. This is going to be one of those that is just absolutely stupid. And like whatever you love from the Birdemic movies, they're going to deliver like even more on that. Like even at the end, when you see the bearded, like Will Forte impersonator, like him trying to attack the birds. And it's funny to see them, like, even when the birds are flying low, like, they're all in front of them. Like, honestly, this looks like such a weird optical illusion where all the, like, technically, these birds are supposed to be all over the place. And even, like, they're supposed to be, like, further distance from him, but they're all, like, far behind. Like, even when they all pass him, it's so weird. Like, you just see this, and it's like, whoops, sorry. I didn't mean to make it go black, but, whoops, son of a fish. I don't know my controls properly. Help. Yo, old man, can you help me out here?
No.
Okay, well, screw you then. Oh my God. But yeah, honestly, I think this is going to be a blast. I think honestly, like, yeah, I think it's no secret that this movie sucks, but I think that literally is the direction that it's going with the monotone acting, with the really bad special effects, the whole tone of taking itself way too seriously. All this, honestly, it's done on purpose, but I think the people who want to see more Birdemic, they are going to enjoy this. I think they're going to deliver on what they promise, and yeah, I could totally see how people are going to have a great time with it. So if you are all excited to go and check out Birdemic 3 Sea Eagle, then don't forget that it's going to be coming out later this year, so keep an eye out on that. All right, so with that said, I'd like to go into the chat wall, and I want to ask you all, what do you all think about Birdemic 3 Sea Eagle? Are you guys excited to go and watch this? Would you rather keep yourself distant from it? Let me know what you think. Oh my God. Oh my God, someone in the chat wall is so dirty. The Virgin to Boldly Flee versus the Chad Birdemic 3. Oh my God. Yo, man, that's a low blow, dude. That's a low blow. Oh my God. Let's see now. Oh, yes. Art. That's the only way to describe this trailer. Art. Everything falling apart at once. The cheap CG, the bad acting, the nonsensical plot. It all weaves together like a beautiful tapestry. What you currently have on your podcast is art. Absolutely, man. It's the kind of thing that you watch this and your only reaction at the end, like just after all that you have witnessed.
Is there anything we can do to fix it?
No.
The birds are back to attack us!
That is art right there. Give everyone there an Oscar. It's beautiful. This should not be screened at a movie theater. It needs to be screened at frickin' Guggenheim. Okay. Let's see. After seeing this trailer, bruh, what? La 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 la. I never even heard of Birdemic before, but I did get a feeling of deja vu from this. The CGI birds look so ridiculous, there's a horny scene in this, and the old man looks like he doesn't have any acting experience. And some people in the chat well, actually didn't get to see it much because of an ad popped up right before you started the trailer. Oh man, whoops. Sorry to hear that, folks. But again, just to go and remind you that if you want to go and watch this without any ads whatsoever, then go and subscribe. Seriously, if you want to make sure that you have no ads to go and interrupt this, then make sure you go and subscribe to my Twitch channel. I mean, it's only just a little bit. Like, you don't have to pay a whole lot, but you'll be guaranteed to not have any ads to go and interrupt this whatsoever. So just a quick reminder on that. I know it seems a bit like a shameless plug-in, but I mean, I'm running a business here, guys. Like, I want to make, I really do want this to be like a really thriving, livable job. Like, how awesome would that be? So I'm trying to do my best in order to really keep this going and, to make this a fun business, to make money out of doing something that I love to do. Anyways, what else do we have here? Somebody grab your coat hanger and solar panels. Oh my god. In fact, the thing is, speaking of which, this shot right over here where you see the Will Forte copy, he's using a coat hanger. Like, you notice here, there's a coat hanger for some reason is there, and he's using it to fling off all the birds. Like, of course, he needs to reenact that famous scene. So, of course, you do get coat hangers thwarting away fake CGI birds. So you do get that. Let's see now. This looks funny. I mean, wooden acting, bad 3D, and silly dialogue. We're getting lots of fun for this, and I think I should watch all Birdemic films because I need a good laugh. Also, have you thought of a top 10 so bad it's good movies video? Honestly, I think honestly, like, there's already been so much. Maybe it could be a good idea for like a so bad it's good animated films list. Maybe I could go and do that, but oh, excuse me. But yeah, honestly, I'm sure there's already been done, but maybe an animation related one. It could be interesting. Let's see here. Well, we clearly have reached the most anticipated movie of 2022, although I do have the concern that it might be like the second movie, which was just a stupid but not as fun as the first one. I'm still excited for this, and the upcoming Garth McGhenry, which, if you don't know, Garth McGhenry's Dark Place is an amazing miniseries parodying bad 80s horror. All right, interesting. Hey, it's actually very nice that we do actually get some perspectives from like a Birdemic fan. Honestly, I should have asked that in the beginning. Also, I forgot to mention that during the trailer, I want to give special thanks to South Kisune for the subscription. And I'll read one more comment, by the way. Honestly, that Birdemic premise makes me think of a weird dream I had recently with the polar ice melting. There's an ice demon coming from the middle of Antarctica and unleashing a massive snowstorm covering the entire world, pretty much reversing the climate change. He kind of looks like the Goma Vitra from Asuna's Wrath. Also, Matt, why is episode 212 not on YouTube anymore? The one with your Pokemon Scarlet reaction. Just to have a quick summary on that, it is because of a copyright strike. It is actually because I also reviewed the teaser trailer of Pinocchio, and that ended up getting taken down, and the channel currently has one copyright strike for it, and it's because of not the trailer itself, but because of the little piece of music in there. Not the When You Wish Upon a Star song, but I mean the little music in between that goes like da, 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 da. That apparently got claimed. I tried to dispute it, but I ended up getting a strike. So it's going to take a little while. I'm expecting like maybe sometime in October that that video is going to come back. But yeah, sorry that the video is taken down. I tried to appeal, I tried to make the appeals, but YouTube doesn't want to listen to me. And now, folks, this is it. It's the grand finale, and even though we started with a big one where we celebrated justice happening, Well, we might end up with the opposite, where we have some injustice happening and something that really did suck. And I pretty much saved the biggest animation news for last, because this is something that is absolutely worrisome, to the point where with the whole Warner Brothers Discovery controversy, things have really gone from bad to worse. And their desperate need in order to save up money, in order to pay billions of dollars in debt, well, now it's at the point where it really is like right now they're really like hurting creators, they're hurting animators. Like now they're really doing some real damage to HBO Max. And what I'm talking about is the great HBO Max purge, where in total HBO Max has taken down 36 titles off of its platforms, most of which are actually streaming. And the grand majority of those 36 titles is actually animation. So they ended up removing a whole bunch of those unexpectedly, by the way. And like, it's already been a few days, but like shortly after the announcements, they were all gone, like just disappeared from HBO Max, like completely. And I actually do have my source here on Variety. Actually, before that, let me just go and put in a quick explanation as to why specifically they went and did this. So let me just go and quickly read you here, in which it states, starting with an HBO Max statement, as we work towards bringing our content catalogs together under one platform, we will be making changes to the content offerings available on both HBO Max and Discovery Plus that will include the removal of some content from both platforms. Taking off the titles from streaming would also help Warner Brothers Discovery cut costs by removing lesser watch programs to save money on residuals. An exact date and time of when the titles will be taken off has not been announced. Oh, but it pretty much happened. It already happened just like so quickly. So from there, let me just go you and read you the list that I have of all the content that they have taken down from HBO Max. Starting with the HBO Max originals, they have removed 12 Dates of Christmas, About Last Night, Aquaman, King of Atlantis, Close Enough, Ellen's Next Great Designer, Esme and Roy, The Fungies, Generation Hustle, Generation, Infinity Train, Little Ellen, My Mom, Your Dad, Odo, Ravi Patel's Pursuit of Happiness, Summer Camp Island, The Not Too Late Show with Elmo, The Runaway Bunny, Theodosia, Tig and Seek, and Yabba Dabba Dinosaurs, as well as the HBO originals My Dinner with Hervey and Cher. On the Cartoon Network side, they have removed Dodo, Elliot from Earth, Mighty Mau Mau, Heroes of Pure Heart, Mighty Magiswords, OKKO Let's Be Heroes, Uncle Grandpa, and Victor and Valentino, as well as acquired titles such as Detention Adventure, Messi Goes to Okido, Mia's Magic Playground, The Ollie and Moon Show, Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures, Make It Big, Make It Small, and Squish. But that's not all, though. You may notice that one of the most prominent titles that has been removed is actually the Not Too Late Show with Elmo. And from there, that's not the only thing that they took away from Sesame Street, because apparently there have been a selected group of Sesame Street specials that they've taken down, and even removing over 200 older episodes. Again, reading you here from my source here on Variety. Once again, it states, the removal of the Sesame Street episodes and other recent content by HBO Max appears to be part of new owner Warner Brothers Discovery's belt-tightening moves aimed at reducing streaming content payment obligations. As of Friday, HBO Max listed 456 total episodes of Sesame Street, with a selection from Season 1, 5, and 7, and the full lineup for the most recent seasons, 39 and 52. Of those, only 29 are from the earliest seasons. Previously, the streaming service offered about 650 total Sesame Street episodes, including episodes from Season 2 and 4, Season 6, Seasons 2, 3, and 4, Season 6, and those from every season between 8 and 35. They also went on and put up a comment in regards to what they have done, and this is from HBO Max themselves. Sesame Street is and has always been an important part of television culture and is a crown jewel of our preschool offerings. We are committed to continuing to bring Sesame Street into families' homes, including season 53 premiering this fall and the 400 plus episodes of the most recent and past seasons that remain on Cartoonito and HBO Max. So that's pretty much the big situation right now, is the fact that now HBO Max has been purging animated shows, and this is something that is considered an extreme emergency, especially for animation fans, considering the fact that they have now taken down some highly acclaimed shows and some major fan favorites. Like some of the standout ones that people were very disappointed that they were removed, they do include, well, especially probably the big one is Infinity Train that they've taken down, but also stuff like Aquaman King of Atlantis, Summer Camp Island, Tig and Seek, and then also some Cartoon Network shows, including OKKO Let's Be Heroes. I know that's a very beloved one. Mau Mau, Heroes of Pure Heart, Mighty Magiswords, Victor and Valentino, Uncle Grandpa, and several others. Like, it was a massive shock that they would go and just suddenly take them down without any explanation whatsoever or any full reason. But when the reasonings did actually come out, it actually made things so much worse, and that's because of residuals. That apparently it's just a tactic so that Warner Brothers Discovery doesn't have to go and pay for any more residuals, and that they could just go and save up to go and pay their debt in order to go and, like, you know, make their big scheme of saving at least $3 billion, or at the most $3 billion, which they have yet to go and fully achieve with all this. It's honestly ridiculous, and there is something morally damaging to all of that, because the thing is with residuals, well, specifically with those residuals, they don't go immediately onto the animators. They don't go directly onto they're not going to go directly to the animators and to the creators. Where they go directly is actually towards the union. They go towards the Animation Guild. They're the ones who end up collecting the residuals, and they would use that money to go towards healthcare so that they could provide animators and members of their guild all the healthcare and all the health benefits that they need, so that whatever medical expenses does not become too much of a burden for them. That's the big reason why. And the fact that apparently WBD is cutting off all their shows, they're pretty much cutting off they're pretty much cutting off animators' healthcare, or at least a big part of it, which is a serious and very concerning problem. And not to mention the fact that there are some people in the chat wall who have mentioned this. Thank you for bringing this up. Is the fact that they're pretty much erasing these shows from history. Like, not only are they taking them down from HBO Max, but they are really going to the further extent of removing them from the internet entirely, where even on the YouTube channels of Cartoon Network, on Warner Brothers, or whatever, they would try to take away any single video that is related to either Infinity Train, to Mighty Magiswords, or whatever. In fact, right now, this entire situation is really putting a mental toll on the entire animation community, not just towards fans, but especially towards creators. I remember I listened a bit to Kyle and Luke's podcast, the creators of Mighty Magisword, and they expressed their thoughts regarding the entire situation. And even, I believe it was Luke Ski who mentioned how this was, this was really putting a scar on him. Well, not putting up a scar, but it's really doing a lot of damage to his mental health, that it really is just massively depressing, and it's just putting him down where he feels like he's never going to make it as a story artist in the animation industry, especially when Warner Brothers Discovery is just flat out canceling the entirety of their show in general. In fact, there's also another post I want to go and show you. There's a blog actually created by Owen Dennis, in which you guys probably know as the creator of Infinity Train, and made this entire blog answering all the questions that people have that's very concerning in regards to what's happening with HBO Max and what's happening with Infinity Train. And he even made a post. He even mentioned about like what is going on, and he expressed his feelings about it, in which he states right over here, and this is a very good point. I think the way that Discovery went about this is incredibly unprofessional, rude, and just straight up slimy. I think most everyone who makes anything feels this way. Across the industry, talent is mad, agent is mad, lawyers are mad, lawyers and managers are mad, and even execs at these companies are mad. I can't think of a single person who works in animation and entertainment that when you bring all this up doesn't say, what the F are they doing? How do they plan to have anyone ever want to work with them again? And that's kind of the sad reality of what is going on with what David Zaslav is trying to do with this entire situation. Because their whole plan, with their whole plan, with their streaming platform, with what they want to do with their entire reboot of blending HBO Max and Discovery Plus. I mean, I've already talked about this to an extent in a previous episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. But in this case right over here, they're pretty much trying to go and repair everything. They want to repair HBO Max. They want to repair their relationship with filmmakers. They want to repair the kind of content that they would go and offer, and especially want to repair the debt. But they're doing so to the point where they're actually doing more harm than good. Like right now, this is like currently what they are doing, like not just with shows like Infinity Train and Mighty Magiswords, but also like especially in regards to the Batgirl controversy and the fact that like even despite all these cancellations, David Zaslav is desperate to keep Ezra Miller so that they could go and continue with continue with the Flash movie in 2023. Like they really are doing so much harm, and things are just getting absolutely worse for Warner Brothers. Like this is going to be a situation where they will screw themselves where they're going to really screw themselves over, and not to mention the fact that they like whatever happens, they're going to lose so many subscribers. Like whoever is subscribed to HBO Max and Discovery Plus, there's going to be so many who will protest against WBD, and they will fully abandon them. And I mean, this is not even to mention of like how things are going to go right now in terms of the cost. Like, are they going to maintain the same price of like $15 a month? Will they actually end up increasing it so that people will end up paying more? Like, it's going to be very dangerous to know what they will do, especially in this day and age where inflation is stupidly high and still stupidly high. The thing is that they're like I said before, they're really doing like WBD is really doing more harm than good, where now they really are poisoning the relationships between filmmakers and between them. Like it's gone seriously bad. Like right now, it's going to be hard to imagine how people will trust WBD to go and work for them. Like if they ask you to go and create a series for their new streaming platform, you question if it's ever going to be made. You question if that's actually going to happen, which honestly at this point, it's highly doubtful, because even when movies are so close to finishing, such as Batgirl and that Scoop sequel that they were trying to do, like they were so like they were like over 90% at the very least to finishing everything up, and they decided to just scrap it all together. And right now it's just a very poisonous, and it's a very confusing and very dangerous situation of what they're doing with HBO Max, with Discovery Plus, and with Warner Brothers Discovery in general. And it pretty much leaves us in a situation where now the PR with David Zaslav has literally gone so bad that now the future of his reign as CEO has really been put to question. Like there are some professionals out there who actually do state that they don't know if he's going to stay as the CEO for long, because right now the PR has gotten significantly worse and worse and worse, where it's actually costing them. Like, you guys probably remember when the initial announcements of what they plan to do with WBD's streaming platform in the future, with what they want to do with combining the two together, and just after the cancellation of Batgirl, the stocks of WBD just ended up plummeting pretty badly. And like ever since then, like every action that they do, now they have to go and like try to repair some of the damage. Even with this one, they state that apparently, oh no, they're temporarily taken down. They're going to be back. Don't you worry. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. But like I said before, they're doing far more harm than good. And right now, David Zaslav's position as CEO is currently in jeopardy, because all the decisions that he's making with HBO Max is pretty much doing far more damage than good. And people are now becoming far less likely to go and invest on WBD, to go and buy HBO Max, to buy a ticket for a Warner Brothers movie. People are honestly doubting themselves. They don't want to do it. And some people are predicting that there is a possibility that maybe in the future, maybe sometime in like, maybe in a few months or so, it could be possible by the end of the year, or maybe by early 2023, David Zaslav is going to be kicked out. He would want to try to do so many of these changes to the point that it's just doing more harm than good. And he's ultimately going to be removed as the CEO. And then the next CEO is going to come in and just try to repair all the damage that they have done, the same way that, at least what they would hope for is have the same way Bob Iger repaired a lot of Michael Eisner's damage in his later years, of course. So from there, it's very concerning, and I do understand how animators feel right now. I do understand how animation fans and the entire animation community feels, and how this is really putting a bad stain to what's currently going on. And not to mention the fact that all they're doing right now, like probably the worst thing, is that right now, WBD is pretty much encouraging piracy. Like, more and more, they're giving people a valid reason as to why people would want to go and pirate some content. Because the thing is with what they have done is that with streaming shows, with streaming shows that you would find on like Netflix, on Disney Plus, and on HBO Max, you won't find any physical copies of them. There's no other official way that you can go and legitimately watch something like Close Enough or the later seasons of Infinity Train. Like, yeah, sure, with Infinity Train, for example, seasons 1 and 2, or book 1 and 2, they're on DVD. You can go and easily buy that on Amazon. But if you want to go and watch book 3 and 4, you're crap out of luck. There's nowhere else that you could go and find it. And really, the only way to do so is just to go and pirate it. I know that it is very morally questionable, and it is highly debatable if you should do it or not. But in this case over here, yeah, I think honestly, it's like, I don't blame you. Like, especially if you want to go and watch Close Enough, we know for a fact that there's not going to be any plans sometime soon for them to go and release it on Blu-ray and DVD. So if you want to go and check it out, well, I mean, there's only one way to do so. Yo ho, a pirate's life for me. So, and yeah, it really does suck on the matter. It's just, it's absolutely ridiculous. And I feel like now, every time we hear news about HBO Max, it's funny because the thing with HBO Max, they really have become like Ezra Miller, where every news you hear about them, every time you hear about HBO Max or David Zaslav, your first reaction or your instincts pretty much tell you, oh no, what did they do now? It's pretty much that kind of stupid crap. So overall, this is a really, this is a very worrisome situation. And, honestly, I don't like, it's going to be hard to imagine now how the future streaming platform of WBD is going to work out, because they are an extremely unpopular, they're very unpopular right now. And they're pretty much rendering the streaming platform worthless. Like, a lot of people have given great praise to HBO Max, but I guess now, well, considering that Disney has actually overthrown Netflix in terms of the amount of subscribers, or technically the combining subscribers of like Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus, It looks like Disney will be secured as the king of streaming for now. All right, so with that said, let us now go into the chat wall, and I want to ask you all, how do you all feel about the HBO Max controversy, or with this HBO Max controversy? I know some of you have a lot of thoughts that you want to express on this, so let me know what you think. Okay, let's see what we got here. I feel very disappointed and sad at the same time. WB Discovery is removing my favorite Cartoon Network shows like Close Enough, which is canceled, Summer Camp Island, and Infinity Train. And I heard people were giving backlash Cartoon Network for removing shows from HBO Max, but it's not really Cartoon Network's fault because it's Discovery's decision. But gladly, because just today Cartoon Network is actually fighting back against Discovery. Oh, really? Oh, I need to check that out. That's actually an interesting development right over there. Let's see. This is a huge nightmare for all the artists, animators, writers, creators, and everyone else that worked on these great shows for years, mind you. What HBO Max are doing is disgusting to me. It's going to be so hard for many people to get in the animation industry, all because one CEO wants to save money. God, I do hate David Zaslav so much. All he is doing is setting up a red wedding and cause so much deaths of beloved shows and losing creators' trust. So far, the worst story of the year. And I think the most horrific part is that maybe the worst is yet to come. And I mean, you know, one thing I'm wondering that not many people are asking, like, even though this is all just money-saving tactics, I wonder how much this is going to put them more in debt. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if after all this, Warner Brothers Discovery will end up being $60 billion or above in debt because of all that. Let's see. I wasn't expecting to say this, but Netflix doesn't seem that bad now, especially when compared to HBO Max executing Order 66. I know that Warner Brothers has massive debt right now, but removing all these shows to save their own hide is never justifiable, even especially since many of these shows can only be pirated now. With all of these cancellations and their refusal to cancel The Flash will just ruin their reputation with creators. This might even be the first step of the downfall of streaming. Well, I don't know. I think that might be a little bit too much to say. I don't know if it would completely destroy streaming altogether. But honestly, it would definitely be I expect this more to be like the downfall of Warner Brothers Discovery. Like, honestly, I've heard some people are even predicting that because of all this and that things are becoming worse with Warner Brothers Discovery, what's going to happen is that there's going to be another buyout, that the entirety of Warner Brothers Discovery is going to be it's going to be so bad and they've done so much damage to themselves that the only way that they could save themselves is if a major conglomerate comes in and buys them off, like a company like either Apple or Universal or any of those companies would come in and they would sweep all the Warner Brothers and Discovery content and keep them to themselves. Like, I feel like that is another possibility. As someone who wants to be an animator, this is really devastating to see animators and creators be thrown under the bus and really making future animators not sure if their creations are being respected. This is why people need to support indie animation. Speaking of which, there's a rumor that Has Been Hotel might be on HBO Max. It is not confirmed, of course, but if it is, well, be prepared for a riot. I mean, that all ultimately depends. I mean, I don't know if that is true or not, but I mean, like, I guess it all depends on A24 because they're the ones who are currently handling how Has Been Hotel is right now. And if it is going to end up on HBO Max, oh boy, that's not going to be a bright future for the series. What did WBD do for the third time this week? What's this? You're getting rid of shows, particularly animated shows from HBO Max, which some don't have physical media released yet to save money? Seriously, I am pissed with what WBD is doing for those shows, especially getting rid of Infinity Train and Close Enough, which I love but can't afford to get online or are unable to see. Lots of filmmakers will leave WB to work with other studios like Disney and Universal because of what they are doing. I mean, yeah, like, it's rare that you would find animators, like, quitting their job in protest of what they're doing, but I feel like there is a possibility with Warner Brothers. They won't find themselves having a future there, so they're just going to go and ultimately bail out and work for someone else or work for another streaming service because, yeah, I can pretty much say that the relationship between filmmakers and Warner Brothers Discovery, like, I think it's really making things worse. Like, honestly, I could debate that they could be doing more damage than the last time when Warner Brothers announced that they would go and release their movies both on HBO Max and in theaters. Let's see what we got here. This is not looking good for Warner Brothers Discovery. By removing many beloved shows and canceling Batgirl and Scoob, it is starting to taint the reputation between the studios and the talents to the point where people are fearful to work with them, losing $2.9 billion in market cap since Friday afternoon. I can't believe that all these situations make Bob Chapek relaxing, as he knows that he isn't the hated CEO for now. Yeah, I know, man. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how things are going to be when D23 rolls along. Like, he's going to show up and he's like, hey, everybody, I'm not David Zaslav. I would not be surprised if at D23, Bob Chapek is going to make some kind of slam against HBO Max. I'm just going to say that right now. I would not be surprised. All right, I think I'm going to read one more comment before we cap this off. The state that Cartoon Network is in is scary to creators, animators, and fans of the shows that got affected by the merger. I myself is a fan of Mao Mao, Heroes of Pure Heart, and Infinity Train, and I really hate to see that these shows and their creators are being disrespected and spit on. For Mao Mao, it hurts even more when us fans was promised a second season with no word said on when it was announced in 2020. Rumor has it that season 2 is complete, but CN doesn't want to air it. I'm not getting HBO Max. Yeah, man, I mean, who knows maybe next week we'll learn more about what's going to happen with the next update on HBO Max, but things are really not looking pretty. And with that said, that should do it for this episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. And let me just say, thank you all so much for this wild episode. I know that it has been pretty crazy, especially with the first story. And let me just say, if I have become the next target of Vic Mignogna fans, and I have become the next popular subject at Kiwi Farms, well then, I guess you know why. Well, with all that said and done, though, hopefully things can be a little bit calm, though. Hopefully it won't be as controversial, and I won't be attacked by incels as much on the next episode. So with all that said and done, I would like to say thank you all so much for listening. Thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, see you later, dudes.